Russian troops continue to carry out pinpoint strikes on the enemy's energy infrastructure in the western regions of Ukraine. As a result of several drone attacks, substations in Ternopil and Rivne regions were temporarily cut off, leading to power outages. For the first time in a long while, the use of a Russian uncrewed boat on a target on the coast of Odessa Region has been reported. The explosion occurred in the port of Odessa, causing fire. Ukrainian units again attacked rear facilities in several regions of Russia. One of the UAVs hit a building in Grozny, while another was shot down on its approach to the Kapustin Yar training range in the Astrakhan Oblast. For the first time in a long while, the enemy used uncrewed boats to raid the coast of the Crimean Peninsula. The bulk of them were sunk near Sevastopol. 3 more drones that had broken through to Kerch were destroyed near Kamysh-Burunskaya Bay. On the Kursk direction, Ukrainian units are attempting attacks in the Sudzhansky district, using Leopard 2A6 tanks, among other things. The enemy is stopped on the southern outskirts of Darino. Armored vehicles are destroyed by drone strikes. At the same time, in the Sudzhansky district, fighting continues in Novoivanovka and Pogrebki. On the opposite flank, members of assault units knocked the enemy out of the eastern outskirts of Plekhovo, advancing in the direction of Guevo. In the Slobozhanska direction near Vovchansk and Hlibok, there were no significant changes in the configuration of the front line during the week. A Russian drone sprayed an incendiary mixture over Ukrainian positions on the state borderline north of Veterinarne. In the Kupiansk-Svatov direction, Russian troops are improving their tactical position along the Oskil River near Krylyakivka. In the eastern part of Kupiansk, fighting continued near the industrial zone, where a Russian armored group was again attacked. In the Lyman direction, the main fighting is still taking place in Terny and the Shiroka Yar Gully, located to the east. At the same time, Russian troops are attacking further south in the direction of Yampolivka, the capture of which would allow the AFU grouping in the southern part of Terny to be encircled. Positional fighting continues in the Siversky direction near Bilohorivka and Verkno-Kamyanska. Russian artillery crews and UAV operators hit AFU positions in Siversk, Dubrova, and Yampil. In the Artemovsk direction, Ukrainian units have taken several positions on the Chasiv Yar-Kostyantinivka highway. Russian troops are fighting on the territory of the Chasiv Yar refractory plant, moving deep into the industrial zone in a northwestern direction. On the Oleksandro Kalinove direction, Russian troops managed to make significant advances within the boundaries of the Zabalka district, liberating most of the buildings. There was also an attack by members of assault units on Dzerzhinsky mine territory, on the outskirts of which fighting had been reported for the past few months. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russian troops continue to advance along the railroad, bypassing Pokrovsk from the left flank. During the week, the villages of Jovte and Novopustinka were liberated. Fighting is taking place on the outskirts of Shevchenko and Novotroitska. In the Kurakov direction, Russian troops are advancing along the shoreline of the Kurakov Reservoir towards Stary Terny. To the south, assault groups have liberated Romanivka and are fighting in Hanivka. There was an attack by several units of military vehicles in the direction of Uspanivka from the direction of Dalnje. Meanwhile, the situation remains tense in the Vremivka direction north of Velika Novosilka. The Russian armed forces retreated from Novi Komar under the enemy's onslaught, while in Rozdolna there is fierce fighting in the center of the village. At the same time, Russian troops conducted several successful attacks and knocked the enemy out of the southern outskirts of Blahodatna. The Russian armed forces also took control of positions east and southeast of the village, near the Shaitanka River. In the Zaporizhia direction, the AFU continue shelling the civilian infrastructure of the liberated part of the region. As a result of a drone strike on the administration building in the town of Vasilivka, one of the employees was injured. Positional fighting continues in the Dnipro Island zone in the Kherson direction. At the same time, Ukrainian media reported that the Russian armed forces were allegedly preparing to land near Kherson using 300 boats.